Hi, and welcome to Coach's Corner, where systems matter and both personal and professional learning and development is beneficial for everyone and essential for some. As always, please like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit the notification bell. Let's get started.
Okay, so now we're going to move over to the individual system.
Yeah.
But still sticking with the ages 0 to 5.
Yeah.
So we'll start with mindset.
I don't remember this, but I remember stories. So I have a big sense of fairness and justice. And my mom said she was looking out the kitchen, and you know, like in the cartoons where they grab your head and the guy swinging.
Oh yeah.
But, you know, he's so young or whatever, he can't hit the guy.
Right.
And she said for 20 minutes, literally, she just sat there and watched. For 20 minutes, I was swinging on this older guy, and he was probably like 5 or 6 years older, and he was holding my head. Well, I wasn't smart enough at the time to hit his arm off or duck or bob or weave. Yeah. So she said I just swung, and she said I didn't stop, and then she saw me hit him, and I walked away.
That was it.
That was it, because it was fair. Like, so I don't know what happened, but he probably hit me.
Right.
And I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna hit you back because you hit me.
Yeah.
So that seems fair. And so, that was my mindset. And so, as we've talked about many a time, I believe we're a collection of our genetics and DNA.
Oh, yeah.
So I think I came kind of with that 300 mentality, intense competitor, and all of that stuff. And then I also think, even at a young age, the environment, it was competitive. And I think that I was playing baseball on my brother's team.
Okay.
They have age bracket.
Yeah.
But I loved it if they were short, because I got to go play right field, like in baseball.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, But I think I had a pretty strong mindset, pretty determined mindset, even at early age.
Early age. Okay. And then much around getting organized from 0 to 5.
Yeah, not much. I know my mom was pretty systemic about you got to get your backpack, you got to brush your teeth, so I believe that there were the start of habits, customs, rituals, like we all have, and I remember that in particular.
Right.
And I just remember she was really organized, and so I saw that, and I think I went that way. Although she'd tell you from early on till I was 20, I wasn't organized.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty anally organized now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then with the solution showcase piece.
Yeah, I was busy, dude. I was out doing, right? I was out playing. We had a big dirt field. We dirt clod fights, and we did a lot of sports. I remember my brother and his friends, they were a lot bigger than me and older. They'd play on their knees, and we'd play on the grass. That was for football, and they would run on their knees. God, could you imagine that now? But they would run on their knees, and I would juke them and stuff and try to score. And so we were extremely active, whether we were working, whether we were, doing sports, whether we were active.
Got it.
Yeah, my poor mom.
Oh, yeah. And then much with collecting data from 0 to 5?
I don't, obviously not formally.
Right.
But I think I was a thinker. I think, God gave me some genetics and DNA around kind of processing and thinking and going, even at an early age, like, well, that may not be smart. And, maybe throwing that dirt clod, at my brother's face from, point blank range, probably not real smart. He's going to, punch my lights out. So I think I was, pretty analytical and collected data informally quite a bit.
Okay, got it. And then with your thoughtful advancement, celebrations and different things like that, is it kind of much?
Yeah, I mean, they said I was an extremely happy kid, and, I didn't obviously formally celebrate or do my little dance, or, whatever, but they just said I was a happy kid, and I could just go from, dawn to dusk, so to speak.
Right, yeah, go.
Which is how I am now, 52, my poor wife.
Oh, yeah. And then still sticking with the ages of 6 to 10, but now the individual system, sounds like a lot of informal stuff from 0 to 5. Anything change with mindset?
Yeah, I started to do like little pictures of athletes or different things of that. So I started to kind of go from real informal, not all the way I'd say formal, but when people are talking about, well, I do pictures and I visualize. I'm like, yeah, well, I've been doing that since I've been 7. So, but nothing crazy.
Yeah.
But, I had a pretty good mind about, like stats and stuff of all the people that I was going to beat.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I swear, I'm not kidding you. I'm like, whatever, 2'1" or whatever.
Yeah.
And I swear to goodness, I'm not kidding. I thought that I could beat Magic Johnson one-on-one. Yeah. Like literally, I mean, I'm like, dude, I will tear him up.
Right.
Yeah, I'm like, looking back on it, like, I don't think I got a shot on him.
Yeah, I don't know if you could have.
I wouldn't have, because I know when I would play with the kids, even some of these 8th grade kids.
Right, it was.
Yeah, they wouldn't get their shot off.
Yeah.
Maybe that was kind of like with you for the first 10 years.
No, I think I beat you a lot, actually.
Oh.
In basketball, in that front yard.
Blatant lies.
I don't know. I mean, there's no real official record, but that's what I remember. And like you said in the last video, your perception is your reality, so that's all I can go off of.
Doesn't mean it's true, though.
Tomato, tomato.
Okay.
So now moving into getting organized from age of 16.
Yeah, I started, Harvard has put out something that's called the Gradual Release of Responsibility that says the best way to learn is that, let's say I'm teaching you how to get ready for school or something.
Okay.
So let's just say, and I don't even remember what the 4 I'm going to tell you right now, but just off the top of the head.
Yeah.
So for you to get to go to kindergarten, you got to get your backpack, you got to kiss your mom, you got to brush your teeth, you got to put on your clothes, whatever. So I do all 4 of those, like almost for you while you're watching. So I do 4, you do 0.
Yep.
Then I ask you on the next level up, which 2 do you think are the easiest? And so you say, well, kiss my mom and get my backpack. So I'll do the other 2 while you do these 2.
Okay.
And then we switch it on the 3rd level. You'll do the 2 difficult ones. I'll do the 2 easy. And then I do 0, you do 4.
Got it.
So that's the best way to be able to learn. Well, my mom's a school teacher and super smart. She did things in a very systemic way herself.
Got it.
And so by the time I was like, I don't know, 6, 7, I didn't need anybody.
Yeah.
I laid out my clothes the night before, had my backpack ready. So I was doing some serious getting organized.
Yeah.
Around getting to school and whatnot. And I was pretty good about my homework. I had a list and different things of that nature, like like a task and a to-do list.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of what I would say more formalized getting organized.
Gotcha. It sounds a little bit opposite of me. You're actually getting the exact opposite of me. But,
we used to just on the sidebar, so we take him all across the nation, and he's a heck of a decathlete. And so I said, okay, here's a checklist, and then we get out there. We have to leave. We have to get to LAX or whatever, 2 hours away or 5 hours. It's so busy. But anyway, and sure enough, there'd be 14 things that weren't there. And I'm like, dude, just here's the checklist.
I like to plan my life 4 hours in advance.
4 seconds in advance, but I guess this isn't about you. But
yeah, correct. So now with Solution Showcase.
Yeah, again, I was a doer, so I got good grades, but not great grades.
Yeah.
Because I was like you, we just kind of could listen and get B's and low A's, and I didn't care about anything as long as I could play sports. Yeah. Get out to recess and play sports, and so so I mean, chores. Solution Showcase, a little bit of mindset now, a formal mindset, a little bit of formal getting organized, a little bit of formal, right, all of that kind of stuff, and just continuing to hack. So my friends would go out and they'd shoot for 30 minutes. I go shoot for 3 hours, right? I was like, man, I got to get every advantage I can,
right?
Because it just was tough to get your shot off otherwise.
Yeah. And then, ages 6 to 10 was collecting data.
Yeah, again, I think, started to not be necessarily more formal, but adding more things.
Okay.
Collecting the data of, what grades and what does that do for, does it make my mom happy or my dad happy? Did it make me happy? Did it make my teacher happy? So I really started to collect data around being pleasing to others, but not how you would think. Not like a pleaser. Okay. I wasn't that guy. I was a tough kid. I would question stuff. Yeah. I mean, I'd be like, what? What about this? What Why a red shirt? Why not a yellow shirt? What is it? And I remember actually in fourth grade, which I think that had been around 10.
Yeah, I believe so.
We had a new teacher, sorry, Miss Best, and dude, we were handling her, man.
Yeah.
And so I'm collecting data on her, and I finally go, you know what? My mom's extremely organized. I think she needs to come down and give you some help. So, I was thoughtful and wanted to be nice. I didn't know that would be crushing to a new teacher. I just was,
Right.
so blunt and straightforward, but I was trying to help.
Yeah.
So my help lens really started to kick in, from 6 to 10,
Yeah.
more so than just because mom said or dad said. I wanted to be able to help.
Right.
I would go out on the recess. I would collect the data on this guy shooting the ball. I'm like, hey, if you do some different things, it'll help you.
Got it.
So I was really into collecting data on helping others.
Okay, got it. And then with thoughtful advancement?
Nothing formal at that point still, just kind of a lot of informal.
Okay.
I knew what I liked. I knew what I disliked. I was always questioning regardless.
Yeah.
So I was always, if I was undecided especially, but most of the time I could get it to a black or a white, a like or a dislike pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And then I would start to adjust or, the celebrations I didn't really do because I was just like on to the next thing, on to the next thing, on to the next thing.
Got it. And then, so now move to the individual system with mindset from, ages 11 to 15.
Yeah, I would say that's when it started to maybe go the other direction.
Okay.
I was starting to get defeated, because the gap in what I wanted and what I thought I could achieve as being one of the best athletes, I could start to cognitively go like, dude, you're in trouble here.
Right.
The one sport that I wasn't in trouble in was baseball.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a cannon on me. I could throw a beeline from center field, which is what I played, all the way to home, no hops.
Okay.
And I mean on a laser.
Yeah.
Like, Puig, you got nothing on me, dude. And I was so fast. That's why they wanted me in center, because I could, like, if the right fielder or the left fielder screwed up, I was there to back them up. And so I used to hit line drives. I couldn't hit for power because as strong as I was pound for pound, I still couldn't hit for huge power. Man, I would hit line drives right up the gut.
Yeah.
And I could place that ball pretty much where I wanted to. So discounting that, which I liked a lot and probably even loved until my freshman year. But I could have probably went somewhere, like professionally in there. I don't know, if I would have got to the big leagues, but probably.
Got it.
Yeah, my good buddy Todd is a great baseball player. He always says, you would have made it. And I would believe him more than I would think about anything else because he knows baseball like the back of his hand.
Right, got it. And then with getting organized now from 11 to 15.
Yeah, I think more of the same. Rinse, repeat, just maybe a little bit more formal each time, better task list, better preparation, better, that kind of stuff. But I wouldn't say a huge jump within that age group or age gap.
Gotcha. And then, solution showcase.
Again, rinse, repeat, man. I was just kind of really hammering out, but I do a lot more reps, whether it was basketball season or I go out and as many people as we had on the block, nobody would want to work hard as I would. So I had to go do a lot on my own. That's why I started to play a lot of basketball.
Right, because you can't. Baseball, you need someone.
Yeah.
Football, you need.
Yeah, I'm like, hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And so, and talk about the dumbest decision of all time. I mean, I guess Bud Webb got away with it at 5'6". Or, there's a couple other guys that are small, but I wasn't 5'6". I was 4'11", weighed 96 pounds my freshman year of high school all the way through, because I wrestled 98 pounds and could eat full on before, and then it went from 98 about halfway through the season to 100. And I just laughed because I would be, pounding out value meals while everybody else is weighing in.
Yeah.
And I could eat. I mean, I could eat, man. I was like, I could eat like a 200 pounder. And I've always been like that. Then it caught up with me. Yeah. So I just think, a lot of sports, a lot of, a lot of work, a lot of that kind of stuff.
Okay, got it. And then with collecting the data?
Yeah, I would say both with collecting the data and thoughtful advancement, probably about the same from ages 5 to 10 and 11 to 15, but a little bit better, a little
Okay.
bit more formal, a little bit more conscious, a little bit more
Yeah.
different things of that nature.
Right.
But remember, I started to see like it's not getting me to where I want to be.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So then you start going the other direction with it because you get defeated.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would say it was starting to come down around that age, yeah.
Yeah. So then, we moved to 16 to 20.
Yeah, and I do want to say one other thing. And my little brother was born too at that time. I think he's 12 or 13 years younger.
Okay.
And my dad had left. My parents got divorced around that
Around that
time.
Okay.
Maybe I was older. But anyway, I feel like I had to be his dad.
Got it.
And so when you are, trying to be somebody's dad, trying to do the right thing,
Yeah.
you can't be a good brother because you got to
Right,
reprimand and do different things of that nature. And so, I think that made the relationship a little tougher than normal or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it. And then so now we'll make a move into the individual system. Sorry, with 16 to 20, starting with your mindset. So first we'll break it down and just say 16, 17, you're still in high school, and then we'll move into 18, 20.
Yeah, so again, I won't even get into 16, 17, 18, but like 18, 19, 20, I've started listening to these sermons. I started listening to self-help tapes. I just did what they said.
Got it.
So they go, hey, put a bunch of pictures of what you want. And so I go, okay. And then I got to add to it. I can't just do anybody, whatever.
Yeah.
I got to add to it. So I go, okay, well, how will I do that? And I go, okay, spiritual, religiously, I'll put some pictures.
Right.
Okay, let's see. Oh, family, friends.
Yeah.
This is how I started to develop the system.
Got it.
Right? And so I was informally doing things all the time. I didn't know.
Right.
But now I'm starting to formalize it. So I put my board pictures up. I still have one today that I do the exact same way.
Yeah.
I do the holistic system, and
Right.
then I get up every morning, I look at it, I read it, but I just started doing all that stuff. The secret wasn't around, but there was secret type stuff.
Right.
Think and Grow Rich or this or that or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just did whatever they told me to do. It made sense.
Right. Got it. And then with getting organized.
Yeah, and so, they would talk about that, right? Like, you got your mindset. They didn't really talk about, I think a lot of times these tapes talk more in theory.
Yeah.
I like to get a little bit granular with it and so I just started questioning like, okay, what do I do? Okay, what's a to-do list? Okay, boom, boom, boom. And then as I became a supervisor, I had a task list. The difference is your to-do list is what you do.
Yeah.
Task list is what you give others to do.
Mm-hmm.
But most leaders, what they do is they give it and they walk away. And then the person doesn't do it, and right, it's all screwed up. I never did that.
Mm-hmm.
I said that you're going to report back to me when you're done, and we put a date on it,
Mm-hmm.
a deadline, and a time frame. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Does that ring a bell to you?
Yeah.
And so if they didn't report back at that certain time, I'd go, hello? Right? And eventually they go, God, this guy won't go away.
Right.
Right? So I was anally organized.
Yeah.
And what would happen is that because I was so organized, I was able to, make sure that others did their part.
Right. Okay. And then with the Dookie Solutions Showcase.
Yeah, all that stuff, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it's just, I think it's just rinse and repeat and just busy. 18 hours a day was, I'm not going to say a light day, but it was kind of a light day. I had started, at that time, I started a little business on the side. That was kind of my first formal business around 20-ish, where on the weekends, as I wasn't busy enough during the week, I had my dad had this real rich guy, and he was like in like oil, or it didn't even match up, and it wasn't even in like a high, trafficked area. It was like off to the side, like where industry would be like oil and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was talking to him. He liked me because he knew I was ambitious, and he says, "Well, I'll let you have this side over here." So I opened up a full card store when I was 20 on the weekends. People would come in and I'd built these things out of plexiglass. You'd open them up and get the card. It was crazy.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
And so then with collecting data.
Yeah, again, started to be just more intentional and more formal, right? So I started to say, well, what's important to me?
Yeah.
Okay, well, now I'm going to collect data around what's important to me. So at the business, it was money or it was helping people. So I said, well, how many people did I help?
Yeah.
How much money did I make?
Right.
How much product did I sell? How many, right? So I started to do different things of that nature, but I did that across the board. Why is that? What is that teacher doing?
Right.
Why does that teacher look better than the other teachers? Why does it, right?
Yeah.
But I just said, hey, if this is my mindset, what are some things that are important? Let me start collecting data around that.
Got it. Okay. And then last thing with thoughtful advancement.
Yeah, and so again, started to, right, just a little bit, started to go, okay, now I'm collecting this data and I like some and I dislike some and I'm undecided about some. So what? Right?
Right.
So what? So I started to say, okay, well, so I started to piece together, and so I started to celebrate for the first time with likes.
Okay.
I was always on the undecided,
Right.
pivoting, because that's just my nature. And I was always questioning. So that didn't really, I always did that.
Yeah.
Even informally, but I started to formalize it.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay, in this area, of the mindset, in this area of the getting organized, in this area of the solution showcase, collect data around those things that are important to me. Now let me come back and thoughtfully advance around what's happening.
Yeah.
So I would say little things like, okay, what sold the most in the store today? Okay, well, let's say it was Magic Johnson starting lineups. Well, maybe I should get more starting lineups, right?
Right.
Or maybe I should get, Lakers, or maybe right? So I just started to be real thoughtful about what's next.
Got it. Okay. 21 to 25, individual system with mindset.
Yeah, everything was just at the top tier, man.
Yeah.
I would get up and I would do my prayer, I do my Bible study, I would do my 3 or 4 things with mindset, whether it was visualization or meditation or the secret or, that kind of stuff. And everything was just on a high for me.
Right.
I was young, I was strong, in shape. We talked about that. I'd run up and down with the kids 8 periods a day.
Yeah.
And then the 2 after school. So I had lost about 15 pounds, but I was in shape. Yeah, I wasn't the one to tangle with me back then because, I was strong still, but I could also, my endurance was nuts because we would teach the kids and then we go out and play with them.
Right, yeah.
That was fun, yeah.
And then, it sounded like getting organized was at the top as well.
Everything was at the heightened sense. And remember, now I started to formally develop systems. And so I didn't know that could help, thousands and tens of thousands and millions of people in my lifetime with kids and stuff. But we started to teach these systems in our leadership classes and, to the kids, to the athletes, to the, taught it to you.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
All the way through. So it started to really help a bunch of different people.
Got it. And then, obviously you were doing in the Solution Showcase.
Yeah, I was getting it on, baby.
Yeah. Got it. And then, with collecting data.
Same thing. So just everything a little bit more intentional, right? What kind of data was I collecting?
Yeah.
And then in thoughtful advancement, which I know you're gonna ask me that, what would I do with that? How would the celebrations get better? Yeah. So the celebration went from I'm gonna slap myself on the rear end or tell myself good job to where, you pop Jolly Ranchers or probably shouldn't have done that part, eat popcorn or, something that, I'm going to go to the movies. I'm going to go to a getaway and reward myself because we just won the championship or, different things of that nature.
Got it. And then, so now we'll move into the individual system of spiritual religious from 26 to 30.
So individual system mindset or?
All right. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Again, everything's it's just at the height of the market. I was making more money than most people my age. I lived in a house that most people would not be in at my age. I was, I was working 12 hours a day still, but we were helping, like I say, 10,000 students, 223 adults, and that means probably 20,000, parents. Because we really, my mom and I really did a good number out there. And that program, 20-something years later, still runs strong. Yeah. And but yeah, everything's just at the height of the market, dude. Like, you're just there. You remember, wherever you were at the height, doing your decathlon. Yeah. It's like everything you touch turns to gold, dude. Right. Right?
Yeah. Got it. And then getting organized.
Again, heightened, right? Because think about it. Now, so when you're at a site, or so let's say you have 16 special day kids. You're there. It's what I call going deep.
Yeah.
You can touch it. You can be around it. You don't have to have a system. You can just be good yourself.
Yeah.
And good things are going to happen. So then you go and you spread out, and you're like, wait a minute. PE, it's spread out a little bit more, but there's still, you can see them.
Yeah.
Well, then now you're going, wait a minute. I got 16 adults in 16 classrooms.
Yeah.
So I had to really go with systems. Well, then I go so that started to go a little bit what I'd call the width or wide.
Okay.
But then that turned into 10 school sites.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's 10 to 15 classes in each, I do the math on that.
Yeah.
There's 100. So we started doing very systemic things. That's when we developed our leadership program.
Okay.
And it's second to none. I'll put our leadership program up against anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Most leadership programs are made for like the upper echelon.
Mm-hmm.
Ours isn't. So we can dummy it down a little bit for like what we call the jets, the junior executives.
Okay.
We've run fourth graders through it.
Okay.
Yeah, all the way up to where we've, high level CNN type people that we've worked with and talked with and helped.
Right.
And we got everywhere in between. So you don't have to be like this, which is where most leadership programs are at.
Right.
We can help you no matter where you're at.
Okay.
If your talent level's off the chart, great. If the talent level's lower, that's fine too.
Got it.
And so we have a universal system, but we can play with it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
it's really cool.
And then solution showcase piece.
Yeah, just busy. You can imagine. So when I retired, my wife said I quit at like 35. When I retired to go pursue entrepreneurial type stuff, when I was like 35 or so, the famous saying was, I'd answer the phone like a million times a day. Hi, this is Brett. Hi, this is Brett. Hi, this is Brett. Hi, this is Brett. And so they had flip phones back then. And so they did a gold, they spray painted it gold. It was like real shiny. Put it on a plaque, an old flip phone, and it says, hi, this is Brett. That's what they gave me for the retirement. And so, at first you're running around with your head cut off. Yeah. Right? Because you want to be all that in a bag of chips.
Yeah.
And then you learn to develop a system to where now you're not running all over, it's coming to you.
Got it.
Then what you do is you go, wait a minute, let me go get the best other people and let me put them there. So I call it, at first the funnel goes like this.
Yeah.
So imagine playing tennis going back and forth. All these balls are coming at you every which way. You're running ragged 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
They're paying you for 8 hours. You're working 12 hours. Hi, this is Brett. Hi, this is Brett. Hi, this is Brett. And then I go, okay, this is ridiculous. So I put it into a system to where all the balls were funneled to me. But there's still millions of balls.
Right.
So you're still busy, but at least you're not exhausted.
Right.
And then I said, okay, and we put these two gals right in front of us. And I didn't get many balls because they could get it on. Yeah. So on and so forth. But, you just continue to develop things. And so we developed a lot of great systems from there. But our biggest one was the leadership program. Yeah.
Got it. And then with collecting data.
Again, everything, dude, we got started at anal. Spreadsheets, Excel, activity feeds into progression feeds into results. There was behind the scenes stuff over here. We called the silence. This, that would feed this. And how are we helping this kid? What about in math? It got wild. Right. We got it on. Like, we should have developed our own software system and tracking and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it got very serious. And then we started to instill. How do you guys celebrate? It's so funny to ask somebody that. They go, yeah, it's total crickets. Nobody celebrates anything. They go to the next thing. I think you do pretty good with it now, right? Because you've learned that.
Yeah, because I've learned it before.
Yeah, you're ADD, ADHD, whatever acronym you have, Yeah. But we learned that, to celebrate, to dislike what. So our after school program, pretty rough area. Matter of fact, the street had like 8 schools within like a street or two, and it was the highest crime area of the time. I don't know about now, but it was the highest. And so we used to tell our little gangbanger kids and stuff, when you come in here, you flip on the switch and forget all that crap. You'll be safe in here, I promise you. And so smile, have fun. I mean, dude, we had the toughest freaking dudes. Smile, whatever. I said, but make sure when you leave, that you turn that light off. I said, you have to think about that every time you walk in to the after school program and every time you leave. Because if they would have left with that light on, smile, they'd have got the crap beat out of them, killed, raped, whatever. Yeah. So we had to teach them. That was part of our system. That's why we talk a lot in touch points. The lights on, the lights off. What about so on and so forth.
Gotcha. And then last thing, thoughtful advancement.
Yeah, and so we were taking all this data, dude, and just flat getting it on, right? So we would go, okay. The whole after school program came about from technically thoughtful advancement, meaning we just asked them, okay, what are you guys needing? And they identified 9 areas: health, after school, So we just went in and did that. Well, we did that as a microcosm in all these little areas. Okay. So, believe it or not, with as great of a sports athletes that we had out there, and I'm talking like ridiculous, they had 0 sports in elementary. So we started to play each other in after school program. So we just took every little bit of data and we go, okay, we got to do this, or if we're doing this, we got to make it better. Or we're doing this and it's already really good, we'll just celebrate. Or, man, this is crap. Or, and we just would take all of that and we would continually thoughtfully advance. And we would just, check it off the list. We used to talk about it with the fruit on a tree. Okay. So, everybody wants to go grab the fruit way up here, get on the ladder. I'm like, let's get all the fruit on the ground first, right? And make sure it's not rotten, but grab the good stuff. Yeah. We'll eat that, and then we'll pick the stuff that we can, right here, the low-hanging fruit. Then we'll get where we have to reach a little bit. Then we'll go get on the doggone ladder. So by the end, we would have 75 items that we needed to address, either on the positive or the negative, or the undecided. I mean, it didn't matter, right? And then we would address them, and then all of a sudden, we'd be, 90 to 120 days in, and they were all resolved. Right. So then it was like, so I used to tell people, I'd go and, like how you flick a guy in the ear, like to get him go, because it ran so smooth. So then I went from, where I didn't have to work 12 hours a day. Yeah. That was the first 3 or 4 years. I could work 8 hours. Now I continued to work or do things, but I didn't have to.
Got it. And so now as we move into the individual system, with your mindset.
Again, height of the market, things are going well. We're trying to build the best after school program in the state and the nation, which I believe we did. Yeah. We're a lot of people working together and coming together as one. 223 people is no joke. Yeah. And we did some really good things with the youth out in our district and with the adults. Right. With both of them. We really were able to do some amazing things with them. And a lot of those people that were paraprofessionals say that 3 times fast. Working with the kids wound up being teachers in our district too. Okay. So that was really cool.
Yeah. And so, I can imagine with 223 youth and how many adults was it?
So,
or was it 223 adults?
Yeah, 223 adults, 10,000 youth.
Got it.
At the time.
That you'd have to be pretty organized.
Very.
How was that?
Well, we were on it. Yeah. We had systems every which way. We were organized. We knew, it took us a couple of years to figure it out. Like I've told you before, my first day of doing the after school program ever, when I was the site director, not the program manager, but I just had one site. I had 300 parents coming through 2 doors and the same 300 going out, Yeah. And so you learn, right? And so we had it down after about 3 years. Okay. I would say after 8 months, we had it down to a pretty good system. Yeah. But at the end of 3 years, it was like this. Yeah. And that's when we started to, after about 3 years, started going out to help other people. And so other school districts that were running after school programs, because it was new to them.
Got it. Okay.
And so because we were systemic, the state came in, California Department of Education and different things of that nature came in and said, hey, will you guys start going out and really starting to help others? And so they formed 11 regions and different things. Okay. And then my mom, she was like the Michael Jordan of after school programming. And so we would go out and help and systematize and work with and all that.
Got it. And then with the due piece of solution showcase.
Yeah, there was no rest for the weary, as they say. We were working 10, 12 hours a day. We're now starting to travel towards the end of that. Once when I was 35, I got into, I have bad allergies. So I was going to solve the world's allergy problem. So I bought like $3,500 worth of stuff. And the next day I actually get one of the guys that I fired. That was one of those 223. Kept bothering me. Come check out this opportunity. Come check out this opportunity. All that.
Yeah.
And so that's when I got in the financial services business. So there was a lot of solution showcase, a lot of do piece going.
Got it. Okay. And then with collecting data.
Yeah, same thing. So we were already at the heightened sense of where we were at. It was very formal, which allowed us to relax and do it more informal.
Yeah.
We had systems hooked to processes hooked to procedures. So it was just free flowing, dude.
Right.
And so when you see some of these great sports teams,
Yeah.
They're systemic, and that's where we were at. We were, for a low budget. I mean, we don't have millions and billions of dollars like some of these sports teams. We were really on it.
Got it. And then I'm assuming the same thing with thoughtful advancement.
Absolutely, everything. It just was so systemic all the way down, right? It was like my first basketball system when I was, started when I was 18 and kind of got perfected when I was 25. I used to tell people from the time we got off the bus till the time we got back on, everything would flow together.
Yeah.
So, my offense, we'd score, would go into my press. My press would fall back into my defense. My defense, rebounding, which would go into my break. Side inbounds went into any one of those three things. Underneath inbounds went into that. So everything, all of the schematics, all of the mindset, all of the skills, everything that needed to happen was there. And so when you find something like that, that you can model after, then the next thing that you do is that much easier because you just plug into it and then you make the slight adaptations that you need to for that.
Right, got it. And at this point, were you running this system, individual system, formally, and then also your employees running
Absolutely.
it? They both. So
and the kids.
And the kids, okay.
Yeah, this was cyclical.
Got it.
So, and of course it would get watered down with the kids, right? Remember when I taught you, you're like,
yeah,
this is my mindset. I'm like, all right, close enough.
Yeah.
But you just kept working on those types of things.
Okay.
So I would say that it was getting very formal in my mind.
Okay.
And for the after school program.
Right.
But it was less about that we were actually teaching it to both in a very thoughtful, systemic way. So it was there, but it wasn't like there.
Got it.
Yeah, it was more informal.
Okay. And then with 31 to 35, had the company system come into play yet, or was that after you created your first business?
Yeah, and I would say, probably it really started to come into play maybe, like 40 to 45.
Okay.
So there were parts of it and pieces of it that we would do.
Right. Could you have been smart and all your systems.
Yeah, commingle all the systems together, interweave them, braid them, weave them together, all that. But, there was no need for a company system because I didn't really have what I call a company system.
Okay.
But we were trying things out in the after school program.
Yeah.
So most people think like schools and school districts are not business, they're business.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, everything's big business.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're one of the biggest businesses, right? And so we were doing some things around that and learning from 30 to 35.
Okay.
And then as I was kind of heading out from the after school program and getting into the financial services businesses and my own businesses, then it became, a lot more intentional and formal. Okay. But we had hints of that was starting to spread down. And we knew it worked because like I tell everybody, like an entrepreneur land or business land or whatever, when you can go deep, meaning I can touch it, you could just be great. You could have no system.
Right.
But when you start going wide, if you don't have a system, it's going to fall apart.
Right.
Bad.
Got it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
If you need to contact Brett or Coach, please do so on his social media accounts, email, and or text. You can find that information in the description below. Again, please like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit the notification bell. Thanks, and we hope you enjoyed.
what's most exciting about moving forward is that I can't wait for the new year to start so that we can set a precedence about students taking the lead for most of the program, or if not all of the program. I'm also looking forward to a bigger and better team next year, because we have been learning a lot of skills and we have been taught how to improve on the skills that we already have. So I'm hoping that we can continue to learn.